fellow cyborgs, and welcome to 2019, and here you're going to hear me talk about all the things I want to read in 2019 and the goals I have and all that nonsense. As you could tell, I did not achieve the 0 by 19, technically. I did not, but my physical TBR right now stands at 38 books, and 21 of them were ones that I owned pre-Christmas, so I got my TBR down from 111 to 21 books, and then people gifted me with Christmas, and it was wonderful. So, goal number 1, actually get the TBR down to 0, or at least like under 10. I have one section on my bookcase that I want to be where the TBR books go, and it is overflowed, and I don't want there to be overflow. I want them all to be encased in this one box. That's what I want. So I want to finish my TBR. I want to get it down as low as I possibly can, and then enjoy having a minuscule TBR forevermore. So apart from that goal, which I think is completely doable since I read 118 things last year, I think I can read 38 of my own things. I also want to read a lot more Victorian classics. I specifically have Barchester Towers to finish up. I have Dr. Thorne, which is the 3rd book in this series, The Chronicles of Barsetshire. I want to finish The Chronicles of Barsetshire, hopefully, fingers crossed. And I want to read a whole lot more Victorian literature. I want to have like the qualifications to host Victober were I invited. And in order to do that, I need to integrate Victorian literature and classics into just my normal reading. Check out my last 0 by 19 update, which had my Christmas haul in it, to see all of the Victorian literature that I'm going to be reading next. I'm really excited to get on those and hope to have some kind of like mini series that come up because of all of the Victorian literature that I will be consuming. So this is priority number 1, is finish Barchester Towers, but I'm really looking forward to all of the Victorianness that will be permeating my year all year through. I also want to read more nonfiction. I hear about great nonfiction. I put it on my Goodreads TBR. I even check to see if the library has it, and then I don't actually read it. On my Christmas haul, you saw a couple of nonfiction that I received, one of which was Devil's Teeth by Susan Casey. I have already started this. Loving it so far. Such a great book to start out 2019 with. I will finish this, read the other nonfiction. I have some audiobooks, but I really want to actually get to some of that nonfiction that I've been drooling over for months and months and months, and use my library and try things out and just go for it. Have fun, learn some stuff, feel smarter. As you know, one of my new obsessions is the Books in the Freezer podcast. They're a horror books recommendation podcast, so of course their recommendations have been going on my Goodreads TBR, and I want to actually try some this year. I'm going to utilize my library like no other because I'm not sure what I'm actually going to enjoy and if I'm going to want to keep these really spooky titles on my shelves, but one that I think I can be confident that will remain on my shelves is Into the Drowning Deep by Mira Grant. As you know, I read the prequel novella Rolling in the Deep, 4 out of 5 stars. It was one of the highlights of the year, and this is the full novel that comes after it, Killer Mermaids, which is a good enough reason for any book to be on my shelves. So really looking forward to jumping into this first and then trying out some other horror, and I will report back on how their recommendations do for me. But I'm really excited to try this newish genre to me, even though I think I've secretly been reading horror and not really knowing it. So anyway, really looking forward to some of these horrific picks. And finally, the thing I've been alluding to that I'm really super duper excited about is a series and a project that I'm calling Bronte Binge 2019. Last year, I found the Bonnets at Dawn podcast. I didn't find it. Katie from Books and Things recommended it to me months ago, and I finally got around to listening to that podcast, that one episode I downloaded, and then in the matter of 2 weeks, listened to every single podcast episode they had. And the more they talked about the Brontes, the more I was like, yes, the Brontes. Oh my goodness, this needs to happen. Bronte Binge 2019. My room is prepped. As you can see, my new calendar is on the wall, and I got a print from Amanda White Designs that is also on my wall. I ordered things from the Bronte Parsonage Museum itself to just be ready for this. So the project is going to start out, and the bulk of the project, I guess you could say, is going to be me reading all 7 of the Bronte novels. And then I'm going to supplement that out with talking to you about their poetry that I read in October of 2018, reading Nonfiction and talking to you about that, reading The Glass Town Came by Catherine M. Valenti and talking to you about that. So there are going to be hopefully videos galore all about the Brontes, and I hope you are as pumped as I am. Speaking about being pumped, I have already started rereading Wuthering Heights. This will be the 3rd reading of this book for me. I am buddy reading this with Acacia Ives, and I am going to be buddy reading all, if not most, of the Brontes with Acacia Ives as well. This was a book that I wanted to have rot in the basement nary 3 years ago, and then in 2017 I reread this and gave it 4 out of 5 stars. So let's see what my opinion is on this divisive book this time. After I finish Wuthering Heights, though, what I tried to do was to alternate a new read and a reread with the Bronte novels, and I tried to not read the same Bronte back to back, but Charlotte had 4 novels, so I think there's one instance where I'm reading her back to back. But this is the order that I'm going to be reading the Bronte novels in. So after Wuthering Heights, The Professor will be coming up after that. Then I'm rereading The Tenant of Wildfell Hall. The Professor is going to be a new read for me. After the Tenant reread, I will be reading Shirley for the first time, then moving on to Villette, which is a reread. This will be my 3rd reading of Villette as well. I am planning on buddy reading this with M.A. Anders, who has not read it. Very, very excited. And then I am going to be reading Agnes Grey, which is the final brand new read to me, and then rereading Jane Eyre, and this will be my 5th reading of Jane Eyre. So I'm ending with a favorite. So that is the order of the Brontes that I am going to be reading. Let me flash you some beautiful covers before I put these away. Here is what Jane Eyre and beautiful Agnes Grey look like. Tenant and Villette are also particularly beautiful, especially Villette. Shirley is fine. And then The Professor, also very beautiful. So you will be seeing more of those beautiful little serious cloth-bound hardcovers from me as I go through my Bronte binge, and we will talk about the Brontes together for as long as we want. All right, so I think that's it. I think reading all the things that are still on my shelf, those 38 books, finishing up the Anne of Green Gables series. I'll have to do that if I want to get all of those physical TBR books physically read. Bronte binge is going to be a lot of fun. That will knock out 3 things on my physical TBR. Hopefully you will be seeing my face a bit more frequently and for less minutes per video coming up. I hope to kind of go back to the format that was present in 2017 and do maybe wrap-ups, TBRs, themed videos, stuff like that, rather than just doing my big long updates once a month. So hopefully you'll be seeing this a little bit more frequently than last year. Hopefully I can get that TBR fully down, fully obedient to my whims, and hopefully I will read more than 2 5-star books. Wish me luck. Please let me know what your primo goal is for 2019, bookish or otherwise. I hope you have started your new year off right, have already started a book that you are enjoying, and until next time, continue to be lovely.